Hey everyone, it's Tim here, back again to talk about something that's been weighing on my mind lately. I want to speak directly to those of us who are in the later stages of life, the ones who've been around the block, experienced a lot, and can probably count a few gray hairs that prove it. As we get older, something becomes clearer, something that's been creeping into my thoughts more and more. A lot of what we were told about life, what would bring us happiness, what success truly looks like, and what it really means to live a meaningful life, has been, to put it bluntly, misleading. I know that might sound harsh, but hear me out. If you're anything like me, you probably spent a big chunk of your life doing exactly what society told you to do. You followed the blueprint, went to school, got a job, built a career, bought a house, raised a family, and saved for retirement. Now, here we are, in what should be the golden years, and I have to ask, was it all worth it? Was this the life we were promised? The one that was supposed to make us happy? If we're being honest with ourselves, a lot of us are beginning to realize that no, it wasn't. We've been chasing the wrong things for far too long. So, what were we actually after? And more importantly, what do we do now, with the future ahead of us that might not feel as fulfilling as we imagined? Let's start by talking about stability. For most of our lives, we were told that stability was the key to happiness. We believed that if we worked hard, stayed in a stable job, raised a family, and kept everything running smoothly, we'd be set. We were taught that the safe path, the one with the steady job, a long marriage, and a house in the suburbs, was the surefire way to happiness. If we could just keep everything in order, nothing would go wrong. And for a while, maybe it felt that way. In our 30s and 40s, as we raised kids, managed our careers, and chipped away at the mortgage, stability might have felt like success. We were holding it all together after all. But now, as we sit here in the later years, many of us are starting to realize that stability and happiness aren't the same thing. Stability, despite its advantages, can sometimes trap us in a cycle of monotony. It keeps us on a narrow path, too afraid to stray too far out of the lines because we might lose everything we've worked so hard to build. And when we look back, what do we see? For some, it's a life well lived, but for others, it feels like a life that, while safe, was also limited. Safe, but unfulfilled. Think about it for a moment. Did you pursue the passions that made your heart race? Did you take time for yourself, or were you too busy trying to maintain stability for others? These are the questions that tend to come up in those quiet moments of retirement when the noise of a busy life fades and we're left alone with our thoughts. We realize that maybe, just maybe, we put too much weight on security, and in doing so, we sacrifice the moments that could have brought us real joy. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with wanting stability. There's no doubt that it can offer a strong foundation. But perhaps we leaned a little too hard into it. Perhaps we spent too much time playing it safe, and not enough time taking the kinds of risks that could have made us feel truly alive. We spent decades building a wall around ourselves to protect our stability, but the higher the wall, the more we boxed ourselves in. We forgot that true fulfillment often requires stepping out of that comfort zone, trying new things, embracing the unknown, and challenging ourselves. Now, we've reached a point in life where we have the wisdom to see through the illusion of stability. We realize that the idea we were sold, that stability equals happiness, was incomplete. Happiness is about so much more than keeping everything the same. It's about growth, change, and the willingness to explore new possibilities, even when they're scary or uncertain. Let's talk about success for a minute. For most of our lives, we were taught that success looked a certain way. It was all about the job you had, the money you made, the house you owned, and the status you achieved. We were conditioned to believe that success was something tangible, something you could measure. And like so many others, we bought into that vision. We worked hard, made sacrifices, gave up our time, energy, and sometimes even our health, all in pursuit of those external markers of success. But here we are, with all the trappings of success, or at least what society told us success should look like, and yet something feels off. We've hit all the milestones we were supposed to hit, yet we're left wondering why it doesn't feel as fulfilling as we imagined. I believe the reason for that is simple. We were chasing the wrong thing. True success isn't about the house, the car, the job title, or the bank balance. It's not about how much wealth you accumulate or how high you climb up the corporate ladder. True success is about living a life that feels meaningful, purposeful, and aligned with who you really are. It's about spending your time doing things that bring you joy, that make you feel alive, and that give your life real meaning. Looking back on it, we realize now that the life we were promised, one of stability, success, and comfort, wasn't necessarily the key to happiness. Maybe it was the key to security, but not necessarily to fulfillment. As we look forward to what's left of our time, we realize that it's never too late to redefine what success means for us. It's about embracing the next chapter, taking chances, and creating a life that brings us true joy, not just stability. For many years, we were all taught that success had a single definition, a universal formula we should all follow. We were told to measure our lives against a standard that didn't consider our unique dreams, individual definitions of happiness, or personal ambitions. Yet, as time passes and we grow older, we begin to see that success should have been something we defined for ourselves, not something society imposed on us. Think about it. How many of us abandoned our passions in the pursuit of success? How many of us set aside our dreams because they didn't fit the traditional image of what success was supposed to look like? Now, after all this time, we're starting to realize that these sacrifices didn't guarantee the happiness we were promised. The story we were told was that success meant more money, more status, more things. But as we've matured, we've come to understand that true success is about less. It's about shedding the attachment to material possessions, reducing the pressure to meet societal expectations, and focusing instead on the simple joys of life, like spending time with the people we love, cherishing experiences that nourish our souls, and savoring moments that make us feel truly alive. The most beautiful thing about this realization is that it's not too late. It's never too late to redefine what success means. You can still chase your passions, still create a life filled with meaning, even if it looks different from what you thought it would. The key lies in letting go of the lie that success is about external validation and embracing the truth that it's deeply personal. Success is about what brings you joy, what fills your life with fulfillment. Another myth we were sold was the idea of retirement as the ultimate goal, a time when hard work and saving would finally pay off and we could relax and enjoy life. We were promised the golden years, a time of endless vacations and perfect freedom. But for many of us, as we've reached retirement age, we've come to realize that it's not the idyllic period we imagined. Sure, there's more free time and fewer obligations, but the excitement doesn't last forever. That initial sense of freedom can quickly turn into feelings of emptiness. After spending decades immersed in the routine of work, many retirees struggle to find meaning when those roles no longer dominate their lives. For so long, we were defined by what we did, our careers, our roles as parents, our positions in society. When those roles fade, it's easy to feel disoriented and lost. I've spoken with friends in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who have told me that retirement wasn't as fulfilling as they expected. Some miss the structure and the sense of purpose that their jobs once provided. Others experience a quiet restlessness, unsure of what to do next but feeling like something's missing. For some, the reality is that health and finances aren't as stable as they hoped, making it harder to enjoy this new phase of life. The truth about retirement is that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution to life's challenges. Just because you reach retirement doesn't mean life magically becomes easier or more enjoyable. In fact, for many, it's a time of reflection, sometimes painful reflection, on what they could have done differently. And if we weren't happy before retirement, we're not going to magically find happiness just because we no longer have to work. But here's the bright side. Retirement also offers a unique opportunity. It's a chance to reinvent yourself, to rediscover passions that may have been sidelined over the years, to focus on what truly brings you joy. It's a time to try new things, meet new people, and create a life that feels meaningful, even if it doesn't look like what you expected. Retirement doesn't have to be the end of the road. It can be the beginning of a new chapter. And like any chapter, you get to decide how to write it. Instead of viewing retirement as the finish line, see it as a fresh start, a time to focus on what really matters to you, not what society says should matter. We were also led to believe that happiness is something you earn, something that comes after you've checked off all the right boxes. The perfect job, the right house, a comfortable retirement. Once you've achieved all of these, happiness will follow. But as we've learned, happiness doesn't work that way. It's not a destination you reach once you've done everything right. Happiness isn't something that's waiting for you at the end of the journey. It's something we create every single day. It's found in the small moments, in the laughter of a friend, in the warmth of the sun on your face, in the simple pleasures that make life beautiful. One of the biggest mistakes many of us made was postponing happiness, believing that it was something to be achieved later, after we've worked hard, after we've accumulated enough, after we've met certain milestones. For years, we believed that happiness would appear once we had enough money, once we retired, once we achieved the goals we set for ourselves. But what happens when you reach those milestones and happiness doesn't show up? What happens when you have all the things you thought would bring you joy, but there's still an emptiness inside? The truth is, happiness was never about the milestones, the achievements, or the possessions. Happiness is found in the everyday moments, the connections we share, the experiences that touch our hearts, the beauty of the world around us. It's something we create in the present, not something that comes later. And if there's one thing we've learned over the years, it's that happiness is a choice, one that we make every day, in every moment, with every decision we make. As we look back on our lives, we can see that true success wasn't about doing everything right. It was about finding meaning in the things that truly matter to us, the things that make us feel alive. And as we look forward, we can redefine what success looks like, regardless of age or circumstance. We can choose joy, choose fulfillment, and live life on our own terms, no matter where we are in our journey. It's easy to overlook the little things in life that bring us true happiness. Moments like enjoying a quiet walk, getting lost in a good book, or hearing a favorite song. These are the simple things that can fill our hearts with contentment. And it's often in these small moments where we find true joy. What really matters, though, are the connections we create with others and the time we dedicate to doing things that matter to us. Here's the most important thing to remember. Happiness is never out of reach. No matter your age or the stage of life you're in, you have the power to choose happiness. You have the ability to focus on the things that bring you joy. And more importantly, you can choose to let go of what no longer serves you. The pursuit of happiness isn't something that ends at a particular age or when you hit a milestone. It's a lifelong journey. And the best part is, you're in charge of where it leads you. One of the reasons many of us stay stuck in old habits and routines is the fear of change. We often resist stepping off the well-worn path because we're worried about what others will think if we do something different. Society teaches us to fear change, to value stability, and to avoid shaking things up. But as we grow older, we begin to realize that change is inevitable. And it's not something to fear. It's something to embrace. In fact, it's often change that leads to personal growth, new experiences, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. When we resist change, we're really just holding ourselves back from living a more authentic life. Think about the times in your life when you've resisted change. Maybe you stayed in a job you didn't love, or held on to a relationship longer than you should have, or followed a routine that felt safe but didn't bring you joy. In those moments, you were resisting an opportunity for something better. But here's the truth. It's never too late to make a change. It doesn't matter if you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s. If something in your life isn't working, you have the power to change it. Whether it's shifting your mindset, altering your daily habits, or changing how you approach relationships, the option to change is always there. Embracing change isn't just about improving your life in the short term. It's a statement to the world that you're still growing, still open to new experiences, and that you're ready for whatever comes next. As we age, many of us begin to think more about the legacy we will leave behind. We ask ourselves what we'll be remembered for, and again, society has taught us to measure that legacy by our accomplishments, our wealth, our possessions, our career. But as we get older, we come to understand that our legacy isn't about the material things we acquire or the titles we hold. It's about the impact we have on others. What really matters is the love we give, the kindness we show, and the relationships we build. It's the memories we create with the people who matter most. Think back to the people who made the biggest impact on your life. Was it because they were rich or successful, or was it because they supported you, made you feel seen, and showed you love when you needed it most? The truth is, our legacy isn't about what we accumulate, but about how we made others feel. It's about the hearts we touched, the connections we made, and the love we shared along the way. And the best part is, it's never too late to start building that kind of legacy. You don't need millions in the bank or a lifetime of accomplishments to leave behind something meaningful. All you need is to show up for the people you care about, to invest your time in ways that bring you joy, and to make the world just a little bit better, even in the smallest ways. At the end of the day, it's not the things we own or the titles we've earned that will be remembered. It's the lives we've touched, the relationships we've built, and the love we've shared. That's the true legacy that will live on long after we're gone. So as we reflect on the years behind us and look forward to the future, I want to leave you with this thought. It's never too late. It's never too late to find happiness, to make a change, or to start living the life you've always dreamed of. We've all been fed the lie that there's a right way to live life, a way that's defined by other people's expectations. But the truth is, we have the power to break free from those constraints, to rewrite the story of our lives, and to create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling to us. Let's stop chasing after the things that don't truly matter. Let's stop living for the approval of others. Let's start living for ourselves, for the things that bring us joy, and for the people who matter most. Because in the end, the only thing that will truly matter is whether we found meaning, joy, and love in the time we were given. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it inspiring and motivating, let me know in the comments by typing 1. If you didn't connect with it, feel free to comment 0. Your feedback is incredibly important to me. I appreciate your time, and I hope to see you in the next video, where we continue this journey together, with a focus on living fully, authentically, and happily.